Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of Mindful LCA. Today, we ain't got nothing planned. We saw that Unscripted did really good where we just talked about whatever we wanted to talk about and just had a conversation. So today, that's what we're talking about. So it's going to be a surprise. Stay tuned to see whatever the hell we end up talking about. And give us some feedback if you like our conversations that we have. And the reason why we do this is sometimes we feel like we have better conversations when we're not recording and we're just being ourselves than when we're recording and trying to teach or give a specific topic.
hmm Yeah,
How are you doing today after
I'm
you?
better. I'm better. Earlier I felt like mis ojitos estaban así. But I had some breakfast. I have breakfast in my tummy. I had some emperador galletitas on the earlier episode. I had some chicharrón con salsita. So I'm like, I don't want to say energized because I'm still tired. I'm like, there's the bed that I slept on is like literally right there, and the sun's like shining on it.
It's
And I'm
tempting
like,
you.
it's calling my name right now. Part of me wants to be like, can I just like turn the camera around and just like lay there while we record? And so, as many I'm uh, I'm a single human, and I was telling some friends that like sometimes at night I just want like somebody to like cuddle me and to like hug me and hold me and protect me.
Mhm.
And look at what these motherfuckers gave me.
Give you a jujitsu fucking thing with like
Not exactly, but
a body pillow.
yes. Look at this. It is the greatest thing ever. It's my person now. It's my headless person, and I sleep with it like this. So right now, sun is shining. They're laying down right there, so they're like, "Come lay with me. I got you. I'm gonna protect you."
That's cool.
Anyways, how are you?
Same. Have a little bit more energy. Same thing from eating and from having conversations. Having interesting and good conversations always energize me. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel a little bit more energized. Well, we were talking when we started recording. Just gonna continue the same conversation. Norma thinks I have autism. Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. So you told me a while ago, and then I was like, obviously, first I was just not even open mind to it. Like you're fucking tripping. And then Celia started pointing it out too, and now I'm like looking at it. I was like, oh shit.
Oh,
That could be a possibility. That makes sense. Like, oh, the I'm seeing like videos on social media now, like, oh, autism, this, and that, and this and that. And I was like, that aligns, that works. Yep, that's me. I was like, oh, okay. I might actually have this shit. So it's now just, I guess, becoming more open to the idea, and eventually I'll go get tested or figure out whatever the fuck it is. And like Celia said, it'd just be a way for maybe me to understand myself more.
yeah.
So by doing that, then it's be like, oh, so this makes sense into why. Because one thing that we were talking about off air when we were not recording was the fact that I researched the shit out of things that I'm interested in, and that was very normal to me. And then when that was one of the symptoms, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, so what do you all normal humans do? You just fucking live, you just wake up and you just sit there and you just like contemplate and like just not do shit with yourselves. Because I'm always like learning, right? Like that. I've even said that that is the thing that keeps me at peace.
Going.
The thing that makes me happy and it keeps me going is the ability to continue to learn shit. And it's so interesting to me to learn about random shit that like I had no idea existed. No idea that it was a thing, and now I feel like it just fills me up and it gives me fulfillment to know some other random shit. You know?
Yeah, yeah. I was telling you that neurodivergent people tend to go into rabbit holes with topics like research and stuff. I don't think I'm neurotypical. You use the word normal, and I don't like that word, but um,
Because this my ego wants to defend himself to be like, oh, I'm better than you. Then it's not a something that's wrong with me. It's something that makes me better than you. That's
what did you say? You're X Men?
yeah, I'm an X-Men now. I'm evolving to the next fucking thing.
I
I
mean,
gotta
that's
think of my I gotta think of my X-Men name now. That's how at
um,
least I'm coping with it. I'm trying
it's,
to accept it, but that's where I'm at. You know.
you're like, but it is a superpower. It is a superpower because most people don't have that ability. I don't think I'm neurotypical either. I genuinely think that I have ADD, that I have attention deficit disorder with like inattentive, because there's two kinds. There's hyperactivity and inattentive. I don't think I don't know. I'm still battling with it, but I don't research random shit like that. And I told you that I think my little brother also has that. And he researches like random things. Like he's really like into football. So then he'll know weird ass like stats about like football. And I'm like, how do you know that? He's like, oh, I like read about it. And I'm like, why? Like, how is like just like random? I call my little brother Snapple because he has just like random facts in his brain. So like things that really get your brain going, you will research, and that is a hyper fixation on things, which is completely okay, right? But like we link this to the earlier episode of the four agreements, right? I mean, we've learned that autism is is this part outside of our quote unquote normal,
Mhm.
but maybe it is a superpower. Like it is this part of like you being gifted in a different way that maybe most people
Yeah,
don't they don't function that way, right?
because
So maybe you are an X-Man.
Norma Celia told me that that sent me a video that said that there was something with autism that affects a specific part of your brain. It was at the part where I was dismissive of it, so she sent me something, so I'm like, yeah, fuck you, whatever. I'm not looking into it. But I remember it enough where it said that that might be where I'm able to process information about emotions and feelings and the mental health stuff a lot faster than other people.
Mm-hmm.
So then I was
Yep.
like, oh, that makes sense because I've always struggled with the fact of like, here,
Ándale, ándale.
here, fucker, it's right here. Here, this is the solution to this shit. And then people still struggle. And I'm like, the fuck is wrong with you? It's right there. Like, this is what you need to do. This is how it works. This is how your brain works. This is what you need to do. This is all the shit. Here, it's right there. Do it. And then I'm like, well, why the fuck isn't it working? Now, why did it make sense to me
Mhm.
so quickly? I struggle with that part of it. So that would make sense if there's something there, you
Yeah,
know?
because one of the things with autistic people is they're very literal. They're
Yeah.
very literal, right? So then at first, when you were talking about your mental health journey, and they were like, yeah. So my therapist was like, so in order for you to get over the fear, is you need to face the fear.
Hmm.
And in your brain, that click, that makes sense because that was like very like boom, 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 very literal logic of like, oh, so I need to put myself in a fearful situation so I can get over that. Done.
Yeah.
Most neurotypical people would be like, but let's not do that.
Yeah.
But with autistic people, it is the I think that is a superpower within itself, right? Because when you are very authentic, very literal, then you are being you're not wearing a mask. Like one of the things that autistic people learn to do is this part of masking, acting as neurotypical as possible. And because that's not their nature. Like they just, If something is here, I'm going to say it. If something's on my chest, I'm just gonna like say it. Um, and like I have an autistic client, and they tell me things like, why didn't they just tell me that this is what they wanted? Why can't they just say this? Like, why? And it's something that is so hard for them to understand. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand. If they want me to do this, why don't they just tell me they want me to do this? Like, why do they have to go like around it? But again, going back to the part of the four agreements thing, it's how we have been domesticated, how we've been taught. So I think, bear with me in the woo woo stuff, that it's almost like this gift, the superpower that autistic people were given, and even people with ADHD, ADD, of we are, because one of the things that the four agreements talks about is the fertile soil to let the seeds of love, or seeds of I forgot what the other one was, but like, and y'all are very fertile to, like, you don't let those like domestication stuff like get to you. It's like autistic people, if you think about them, they're themselves. They don't fit into the societal standard. And I think that's fucking great.
Yeah.
Like, when like autistic, like nonverbal autistic people, um and they're like, oh, pero es bien listo para ser autista. And it's just like, who the fuck told you that autistic people are dumb? Just
Yeah.
because they're not able to speak doesn't mean that they're not, they don't have IQ, or they don't have the ability to do stuff. They just work differently, they function differently. But yeah, autistic people tend to be very, very smart,
Yeah.
which is you.
Thank you. Yeah, it could be. I mean, I just want to talk a little bit about the process that like Celia helped me go through and understanding that part of it. Because when I was denying it, like when you first brought it up, or when it happened other times, I was like, well, yeah, I guess it's because like what I told her is like, she's like, but why would it be a bad thing? And I
Mm,
was like, well, because I don't want to be like, once again, with the ability to express exactly how I feel, was like, well, I don't want to be made fun of. I
mhm.
don't want to not belong. I don't want to the shit and the fear and the thing. And then she was fucking amazing. She's like, but you're not a teenager anymore. No one's gonna make fun of you. I was like, oh shit, yeah. I was like, you're right. Everybody that loves me and knows me already, would just be like, oh, that's interesting, or that makes sense, or I understand you more. It's not like they're gonna look at me any different because of it. So then that helped me like made peace with the fact to being open minded, because it's starting to make sense, but I don't know for sure until I go,
Yeah.
I don't know for sure until I know for sure. But it was also the idea of that of seeing it as a negative that was so into a thing, or seeing being seen as an outsider or something that didn't allow me to be open minded to receiving it first. Or the same thing about questioning the identity, right? Like you're
Hmm.
questioning the identity, and now it's like, oh no, that's not who I am, or this shit. But it would make sense, I guess. It would make sense. And like I was telling you off air, it makes sense also why I connect with certain people more, and I find them interesting, that are just like me in that way, that hold random information, that I thrive over this shit and I learn those things, and it's just like I connect with them a lot more, to be like, oh, you're you know we can talk about anything, and you have all this information of the shit, and we can go back and forth and share those things, because it's just cool to do that. But I guess you could, yeah, it makes sense. I guess you could see it why I felt like disconnected at times from certain people, and I was wondering why, like I was so why something, like I was telling you, something makes sense so easily to me that didn't make sense to other people. You know,
Yeah.
but we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see what happens. But now, at least, I'm very open to the thing and not seeing it as a negative anymore, and just go from there and see what that. But that's the part of it that's the part of we're talking about the episode. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like my cycles of growing and learning are so fucking quick that I don't fucking I'm able to be like, yeah, sure. So I'm be like, okay, if I do get it, I'll be proud of it and I'll wear it and I'll bring awareness to it and I'll fucking get a tattoo that says I fucking have it and the shit that it'll make people understand and it'll be the shit that I do and who I am and the thing. I'm not getting attached so much to the idea of who I am now and just be able to be like, okay, sure. Like that's a fucking curveball that I did never expect and it was never in my sight that never to even think about. But now, okay, once again, because I had the idea of the stupid idea that a lot of people have, right? That it's a negative, there's something wrong with you, that is that. So those those societal standards of what it is, what it means to have it or whatever, you know.
Those agreements, those agreements.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is interesting how, like the outlook, the perspective um on different ways of functioning has evolved. Because before, anybody, right, whether you were autistic, had uh, Down syndrome, or whatever, cerebral palsy, like anything that you had was just like, I'm gonna use a bad word, but like in my hometown, we're like, oh, es que está mencito, right, or está mengolito, like that's a lot of like what, like that part of being in that box. Um,
Mhm.
or my grandma says it, mi abuela dice, es que es buen cristiano. I'm like, what? So, so anybody that would have a different type of functioning, right? Like it was like that part of like the outcast, and just like, oh, they don't have like the IQ. But just the more and more we learn about it, it's just a different way of functioning. It is outside of the societal norm, those agreements that we have made. And you're right, like, but again, like you said, the awareness of, oh shit, if I do have autism, there, even within me, even when I have this awareness, there's still that agreement of like, this is a bad thing.
Yeah.
But part of it is the don't have assumptions, right? So then who says that it is a bad thing? Like for me, if you were to get a diagnosis of like, yes, it is indeed autism, for me it was just make it so much more clear why you function the way you function.
Yeah.
Because that has happened with my comadre, Mayra. She has autism.
Mm.
So when I first met her, right, like this was years ago when I was not aware of anything, and I would look at her and I'm like, she's so weird. Es bien rara. We would always call her rara. Be like, pinche Mayra, like, why do you do these things? Like, it was so weird, right? Um, and then when she's like, oh, I'm autistic, and I'm like, it was just like, poof, like, oh, that's why you do the things you do. Now your functioning has makes a lot more sense,
Mhm.
um, because of the autism. But like you mentioned, people that are are within your tribe, they're gonna embrace that.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, yeah, like Sally was said, it would just be helpful for me to understand myself more, you
Mhm.
know, finding out more about myself and how I function and how that stuff would be more interesting, and I'll be able to understand myself more and manage it or understand that shit of it, you know.
Mhm.
Because that's another thing to transition into that. Like that's what I'm struggling with, of not understanding or having less empathy than I wish with where I'm at today, with the ability for me to be able to communicate directly and put it out there for somebody, um, as an attempt to clear things up, I guess, that's been happening, and not getting anything in return, while fully understanding that they're an avoidant person, super stupidly avoiding person. So that's perceived as a threat for me to be like, hey, I want to talk to you and all those things. But I'm like, okay. I even remember telling Celia a few days ago or yesterday. It's like, but why do I have to fucking be the one that continues to like, I don't know, if dumbing myself down or changing to the shit and understanding, like, why do I have to do that all the fucking time? Why does it have to do that? Why can people understand that they're missing something all the issues that they have so that they're able to fucking understand and we can communicate clearly. Like, why do I have to continue to do those things? And I understand, like, because I don't do this with my clients, right? I understand this partly because it's somebody that's close to me that gets that reaction. Um, but that's something that I still struggle, that I still think I need to work on and develop on that stuff. Along with the other shit of like, it's very painful for me for somebody else to think that I'm a bad person, or for
Mm.
somebody else to have a bad idea about me. That fucking hurts like so much. And I remember even my compadre telling me a long time ago, like, why do you fucking feel like everybody has to get along with you and everybody has to like you? Like, why is that just shit? Why do you struggle so much with somebody not liking you? You know? And that's partly what the message that I sent you yesterday was because of that. Because I don't know how, I don't know why that's a thing. I mean, I have an idea of what maybe you're gonna say, and it's gonna go back to the childhood and all that stuff and things, but I just haven't really looked at it to be like, well, why? Why is that? And why is it so painful? Yeah, for other people to think that I'm wrong, and then even when I'm like taking care of myself, why am I the bad person for taking care of myself and prioritizing myself and not understanding that sympathy? Specifically, to be honest, with the topic about with the topic about my mom, right?
Well, yeah.
It's painful to still have people, I don't think, not fully understand, and some of them not even giving a fuck about understanding, and some of them attempting to, but not fully getting that part of like if it was an easy decision, like it's something that I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh yeah, I just chose to do this shit and I chose to go no contact or minimal fucking contact with it. Like, yeah, I just chose to do that and it was a simple thing. It was like, motherfucker, it was like one of the most painful, hardest shit decisions I've ever made. So there's no empathy for that shit. But at the same time, that person that I did talk to about it reminded me that it's different experiences.
Mm-hmm.
It's different experiences that other people have gone through that then leads them to see the world differently. And I have to remember that.
Yeah.
And they don't have to do that, because once if we tie it back to the whether it be the autism or whatever, like I really have a hard time. I have a hard time with the imaginary woo woo shit and all those things at the end of the day, because it's like, well, once again, this is like, oh, God, okay, good. What feelings do you get from God? Okay, you get acceptance, you get this. Okay, cool. Then it's here. It's this. It's acceptance and it's this. It has nothing to do with that shit. It has nothing to do with cards. It has nothing to do with whatever the fuck you're praying to. It's just another way for you to get to that. And let's look at the differences in the shit and the thing. Or it's so clear to me, like even politically wise, like it's so clear to me that they're using you like a motherfucker. Like, how can you be so stupid to not see that you're getting used? Like, what is wrong with you? It seems to me, it's like it's very simple. Here's the shit again. Like, there it is. Here's the information. This is
But
how
you
it works.
okay. So one of the things, one, so if you do have autism, then
Mhm,
inherently you already come with what's what's the how, I'm thinking of like a metaphor and an analogy to use with you. You come with a certain pair of glasses, lenses that
mhm,
allow you to see things that other people don't. Let's start off with that. Just by you being born with autism, if that is the case,
mhm,
you already have the ability to see these things. On top of that, you then have um, adopted or developed that higher awareness, higher consciousness that
mhm.
allows you to have an even clearer lens. You're right now estás en 4K, dude. Like,
4K, 4K, 4K.
eh, eh. I'm trying to say something deep, Steve. Um, But like you see, like tu imagen está bien nítida, dude. I don't know how to say that in English. I'm sorry. Um, but so then for other people, you're like, look, there's like a pimple right there. Why can't you not see that there's a pimple right there? And the other person is, I don't know how to blur my thing, but if it's like blurry, right? If they still have like some TV que es a blanco y negro, bro, like you're le estás pidiendo peras al olmo. Like you cannot ask for people to see in 4K when they have a black and white TV from my grandma's times. And that's how most of us live, right? Like you and I being able to have this conversation, this journey that I'm on, like yeah, I've been to therapy since like 2011, 2012 maybe. So we're talking about like 12 years of therapy and growth and whatever. But I didn't really start like actually becoming aware of this until post divorce. And last year, yeah, 2023. That's just a year. So that is why we're able to have these conversations, because I became aware maybe like a year ago for myself. Like, yeah, I had this knowledge of like being a therapist and being blah, 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 but that doesn't mean that I had put in the fucking work, because I was still having like a very like not high definition vision of things. I probably right now don't have like 4K, right? Because I don't have those lenses that you do. But that is why, hon. Right? When you're saying like, why can't you see this? They don't have that ability. Many of us don't.
Hmm. Well, if I can be honest on what came up for me during those things, is then it's the fear of being alone,
Oof.
because I do feel alone because I'm different.
Oof. That should just hit me right now.
So for me to fully embrace that is scary, because then
Mm-hmm.
it would make sense why.
Right. Yeah.
But it will definitely create more empathy and more understanding and be more patient with it. But it's like, oh, well, no wonder then I would see things that way. And even if it's not that, and it's just how my brain developed through my experiences and shit like that, like with or without the label, it's just
Mm-hmm.
understanding of that shit. Because I'm like, because I need my cup filled.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't do that, I'm just like, the fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have enough people to that I'm filling up, and you're not able to give me anything, so I'm not interested in developing a relationship with you because you're not filling my cup. You're not doing that. And I want to have those conversations more like that. That could make sense why I'm like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, there was an experience where I met somebody that's a therapist, and I fucking I felt like Buzz Lightyear. There's no sign of intelligence in this planet. Fucking do that, turn around, boom, there. It's like I pushed, I engaged, I tried, I probed, and I was like, okay, let's have a good conversation. And I shared my experience, and there was like nothing in return. And then I felt that person trying to be something that they're not, and you just sounded dumb because of trying to fit in or whatever the fuck. And then I told Celia, I was like, oh, it was cool, but that person's fucking dumb. She's like, why? She's just thrown off. She's like, what the fuck? Like, why are you saying that? And I'm just like, did you not see? Like, she was doing this, and that, and putting those things, and it just didn't make any sense. And then there was nothing. I got nothing out of the conversation. And then that person's a therapist, and then talked about how like there was a conversation that came out about her husband feeling a specific way, and she was like shocked and saw like it was a new thing to her and the shit like that, which to me again was very like beginner level kind of shit. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
you should know this, like you're a fucking therapist, like this should have came up with a thing.
And that's a lot of like what people think like when you think of like a healer, a therapist, right? That I think people forget that we ourselves have wounds, that we ourselves are human. I always tell my clients, like, before I'm a therapist, I'm a person, right? So
Yeah.
I come with my own box, I come with my own assumptions, I come with my own agreements. Like I am part at the end. I'm also domesticated, right? So
Mhm.
just because so we are a therapist, like academically speaking, doesn't mean that we are automatically like aware, or we have this power to like empathize with people, and people forget that. People are like, oh, es que tú eres terapeuta, tú no deberías de sentirte así,
Yeah.
you should know better because you're a therapist. And I fucking
Yeah.
hate that. I fucking hate that when people say that, because I'm like, motherfucker, I'm a human and I feel and I hurt. Um, so yeah, just because people are therapists doesn't mean that they are aware. There are a lot of people out there that are therapists, healers, and I've heard stuff they say to their clients, and I'm just like, oh my god, oh my god. Like, please find your own therapist. Like, tell your therapist to go to therapy, because we end up doing more harm than good. So,
Yeah.
um, how
Yeah.
did we get here?
Yeah. No, no, I'm fully aware of that stuff. It was just like at that time, me, it comes from the lens of looking for connection and wanting more, and you're not being able to give it. That's why I did that judgment shit, because I'm very aware of that stuff. Because I think my strength in being able to help people is that I know exactly what the fuck you're going through because I lived it.
And I'm wondering,
Yeah.
hun, because I'm struggling with something very similar to you in terms of like my cup is my cup is really big.
You have autism.
Huh?
You have autism. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You have autism. You have autism. Everybody has autism. Let's
Everybody has
go.
autism.
Fucking Oprah Winfrey of autism over here.
You get autism. You get autism. Everybody gets autism. Um,
Which, to give you a random fact, it was bullshit.
what?
That was not real. That bitch didn't give them a car. They required for them to pay, so a lot of people didn't even get the car. Random autism knowledge. Thank you very much.
I have no idea what you're talking about right
The car thing.
now. What car thing?
The thing for you get a car, where that Oprah Winfrey thing comes. They actually it was a scam. They required them to pay, so a lot of people didn't get the car and couldn't afford it.
I I think I told you this. I don't. Not once have I watched Oprah.
No, but that's you said it. That thing of you get a thing, you get a thing. That's literally where you're getting it from. Maybe you're not connecting it because you don't see it to my beautiful big. I got freaking glass that I have, but that's where you got that from. That's the meme. You get a car. You get a car. You get a car. She
Oh,
gave
I
away a
didn't.
car, but it was bullshit. I thought you knew.
No, I didn't know that. I
Yeah.
think like for me, like somebody, maybe it is from that, but it says like me when I become a billionaire, like you get therapy, everybody gets
Yeah.
therapy. But
Yeah, that's where it came from. I thought you
okay,
just were more aware of it.
thank you for that, because I was not aware of it. Right now that you're like, what? What the fuck was it? And what is this is what happens when I'm
That's
talking to my little
nothing.
brother. When I'm talking to my little brother, this is literally what happened. I'll be like, what? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, I I don't know what to say to that. I don't I don't
Yeah.
know. So that's what happened right now. Um, what were we saying? Oh yes. So I'm struggling with this with a similar thing because my cup is really big too. Like I have a very, very big cup. And like I'm like yearning from like for these like deep ass connections, and for you to show up in a way that I need you to, blah 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 blah.
Mhm.
Um and it having to be like a very specific way. But through that conversation that I had with the person that we talked about the last episode, of how they were calling me selfish, like one of the things that they said, like, I think it's very selfish that you don't see how I am loving you. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? And he went on to say, like, this is what goes on behind doors, like behind the scenes type of thing,
Mhm.
so that these things could happen. Like, I don't know, like a random thing such as like me going to the airport to get you. In order for that to happen, I need to I need to coordinate my schedule with my spouse and with somebody else who's going to pick up this kid at this kid. Like there's a lot of like logistical stuff that happens
Hmm.
before me going to get you from the airport. And I was like, oh, oh, I never thought about that. To me, it was just like, oh, you didn't do this thing. And, but I didn't see everything like the other ways because I was, from my assumption, is you have to love me this way, you have to water me this way. And because you're not watering me this way, then that must mean that you're not loving me. But then when he's like, yeah, but like when you come, like I do all of these things to make sure that I spend time with you, that I cater to you. I wash the sheets, we clean the house, like the kids need to go here, blah, 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 like all of these. And I'm just like, holy shit, like I never saw that. I never saw that. So then I've learned that, okay, maybe what I wanted for to fill this cup, it needs to be this orange yellow liquid. And he's like, no, no, but like, but let me give you some ice. No, 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 I don't want ice. Give me the liquid. But the ice will also add to your drink. It'll make it more refreshing. It'll make it better tasting. But I don't like, no, 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 not ice. Give me the liquid. Right. But then once he was like, look, this is what the ice is providing to you, then I'm like, oh shit, the ice is beautiful. It might not be the liquid. It might not add to like it's not going to overflow my cup with all this liquid, but the ice does add to it because it is so much more refreshing, right? So I'm wondering too, because you go wanting to have these like deep ass conversations so you won't be alone, because for you that's maybe the only way you've learned to connect with people. But again, like having, and not necessarily dumbing yourself down, it's not like when you accept the ice you no longer want the liquid, but why can't you have both?
I do have both. I just want more from certain people because I love them more, and I want to love you wholeheartedly. And I want you to love me wholeheartedly because I care for you.
But why
I'm
does it
able
have to
to.
be the way that
I'm
you want them to?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, and I would think it's because I care for you so much, and because of the pain thing, right? Of not seeing you in pain. At the end of the day, that's a big part of it, of wanting to develop conversation to for you to be able to feel better and for us to connect and have a stronger bond, and also to try to help you with whatever pain you're going through. Because I am two people, and that's why people get thrown off that know me in real life. Because I make the darkest, shittiest fucking jokes, and I'm able to turn all this part of my brain off and be a completely different person that just fucking is goofy and is fucking funny and says dumb shit, and I'm making people laugh, and you would never, you'd be thrown off to be like, what? Like you're so much into mental health and this is how you behave on this part of the shit with this part of the group. So I get that fulfillment, and that's part of the struggle that I asked myself the other day. It's like, why is it so important for you to get it from this person? Why is this person so important? Why does this person need to understand you? And why do you need to understand this person? Why are you forcing this fucking relationship so badly? What
Yeah,
makes this person different from the other people that you've already said this person doesn't want to fuck with it? Okay, go ahead, chingate, figure it out in your own time and your own place, and I move on. Why is it hard for me to do that with this person? Why is it hard for me to want to push and to be like, come on, you can do this. Like we can do this. Let's do this shit, you know? And other people or with most of the people, I'm like, yeah, whatever, it's cool. You don't, it doesn't fucking affect me, it doesn't bother me, it doesn't do shit.
I'm not going
And
to say anything new, but go ahead, go ahead.
and the part that I was gonna say is there's also pain because of the pain that they've created on other people because they're an ability to see things through the way that I see them, and the way that that behavior or those things are hurting other people that I love, that there's pain in me, that like there's part of me what wants to say you've caused pain in other people and you caused pain in me and your behavior. So it's partly I want you to know that too. But then yeah, this is the part that loses me, right? Because then I'm like, okay, they've already they're already not accepting, not open to these conversations. So then how do you find the balance of sharing your pain when the conversation is not even open to the conversation? They're not even open to that conversation. But that's part of it. That understanding why I have that need to connect with specific people and other people. I'm just like, no, just let go. Hit me. Because then I can see your brain rolling. Hit me.
Okay. On the introduction of the four agreements, they talk about, I don't know how they said it in English, but el espejo humeante.
Smoking mirrors.
Okay.
Yeah, the smoking mirrors.
So then one of the things that says here, la materia es un espejo. Todo es un espejo que refleja luz y crea imágenes de esa luz. Y el mundo de la ilusión, el sueño, es solo un humo que nos impide ver lo que realmente somos.
Mm-hmm.
Este descubrimiento cambió su vida una vez... okay. Fuck, where is it? Where is it? Ok. Había descubierto... Él comprendía muy bien a todos, pero a él nadie lo comprendía. Creyeron que era una encarnación de Dios al oírlo. Él sonrió y dijo, es cierto, soy Dios, pero ustedes también lo son. Todos somos iguales. Somos imágenes de luz, somos Dios. Había descubierto que era un espejo para los demás, un espejo en el que podía verse a sí mismo. Cada uno es un espejo. Se veía en todos, pero nadie se veía a sí mismo él. No podían verse a ellos mismos en él porque había un muro de niebla o de humo entre los espejos, y ese muro de niebla estaba construido por la interpretación de las imágenes, el sueño de los seres humanos. Because of your level of consciousness, you are able to see maybe the pain that that person has caused because you yourself have caused pain. You're able to see that, so that person's mirroring that. That person, on the other hand, has the smoking mirrors type of thing, right? Like has the smoke in between that they have been able to clear. So that is why they're not able to see what you are able to see. But because we are mirrors, right? Like the part, and again, this is nothing new, but what is it that this person is reflecting back to you that you're so eager to change on them, but it really has to do with you?
Hmm.
And you don't need to know right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just thinking is the like stop causing the pain that they caused on me, because I know what you're doing to them. That's the only thing that I can think of as of now to be like that is what so thing. to be like you're in the process of repeating the cycle again.
Mm.
It could be that I'm just the same thing, right? Because I'm aware of the shit of the girls, but that's
And it
my
could
that's my
be,
pain.
but it could be that in the process of you trying to force that, you're actually doing the same thing, causing pain.
Yeah,
Because it's
that's what I
because
was.
it's almost like you're wanting them to do this, be like, open your fucking eyes, and that hurts them, and they're like, I I don't know what you want from me. I legit don't know what the fuck you want from me because I don't know how to do that. And that
Yeah,
is affecting my relationship with you, right?
yeah.
So I had this beautiful moment with my friend Esteban, one of our guests, and he said, I feel, um, gosh, I'm hoping he's okay with me sharing this. Um, but one of the things he said is like, I have a rejection thing with my mom. I think for like, I reject her a lot. And I think it comes from the rejection that she gave me. So we're mirroring that, right? He's like, but the other day I chose to move away the smoke. He didn't say it like that, but he's like, I had never really hugged my mom, but I took a chance and I hugged her. Like, even it was a side hug, but I hugged her and I told her, Mom, I love you. And she just broke down. And then I'm like, why are you crying? He's like, you're not ashamed of me? And he was like, no. It's like, I'm ugly. And she started like this inner dialogue, right? And he's like, no, I love you. You're beautiful. And the following day, she went to her hometown, came back when she said bye, and she said, I love you a lot. Words that she had never used with him. So he chose to come from that place of love to mirror, right? Like what they were mirroring each other was that rejection. He chose to change that mirror with love. So she was able to reflect that back.
Hmm.
So with you and this person, what would that look like for you?
That's what I'm trying to do now. And the painful part is that I know that now. But what hurts is that I might have fucked it up so badly that they're not even open to engaging with me anymore because I fucked it up so badly. So same thing that I told my wife. I guess I have to show them. I have to not talk to them about it. I just have to show them with love. Show them that I've changed with love and how I address myself and what I understand and I've grown since the last time, and that I'm much more understanding now and I don't push anymore. I validate and I understand. A part of me is like, I understand what I have to do. I understand that that's the journey, but part of me is like, fuck you for still judging me. Fuck you for not being open minded. Because it hurts that you're still protecting yourself and you're choosing to reject me. And our relationship has gone, like, it's almost not existent anymore because of that. It's
Because
partly
of
my
who
fault.
you them.
But partly it's my fault. Yeah, it's my fault. I get it. I
Mhm.
get it. But it's not fully my fault because with one conversation that I also had was, it's not my fault that you have all this shit that doesn't let you see the shit. Like, yes, I might have caused more problems by bringing it to your face and forcing your eyes to be open. But I didn't close those fucking eyes. I didn't shut them down. I didn't close them. And your inability to not see is not because of me. I might have done more damage than harm. Again, done more damage than help, or I might have fucked it up. But it's still not 100% on me. It's not. It's not. I can only control myself, and I get it. I get it that well through that point, eventually I'll be able to heal that relationship when I show and I lead and I start with love and understanding. I get that part, but you're responsible for your fucking actions at the same time, and your actions and your decisions and the shit, whether your fault or not. are also putting a strain in the relationship.
Yes, and that part, and it is going to be a difficult thing, but um the part of like, well, it has nothing to do with you, hun.
Yeah, I know. I'm so my ego gets so happy because I have an opportunity to show that person something that they never experienced before. I have an opportunity to show that person that people can change and that people can appreciate and validate and understand and just love without being able to change like it's been happening through all of their life. So I was like, oh, this it's just the validation part, I guess, that we always talked about that is still hard and I still it hurts for that to happen, but I know what I have to do
Yeah.
to be able to show you that thing. And I have to fully understand, like you said, that it's not me. It's their upbringing, just the parents, the society, the agreements, the shit that doesn't allow that person to open up or to be there. But controlling what I can control that will allow me to do that. Well, eventually, or I have to still look within that pain. And
Yeah.
huh, that's funny that it was it's not there. That it's not their fault, even though they're still doing it. I have to forgive them for causing that pain and not being able to do it. Son of a bitch! It always goes back to the same shit. It's always the same fucking thing.
It is. It really, really is.
Yeah, I have to forgive them like I have to forgive my parents. I forgave them. Ah, and then you touched that thing. That's exactly what I needed to hear. I think the story with Esteban,
Yeah.
because I've been questioning myself a lot about that, and I wonder if there's still room for growth. And my ultimate, what can be my ultimate test of acceptance is her. It's my
Yeah.
mom.
Yeah. Yeah. I think like the greatest challenge will be exactly that, right? Because obviously, like, I'm not in your position, so it's going to be I'm judging this from my own mold perspective, so bear that in mind. Take what you need and desecha lo que no. um but this place of, I think we have been also taught that from this individualistic perspective, that like, oh, this person's not showing up in the way you want them to, let's just discard them. Go no contact. Don't engage with them. And accepting them in a way that they are able to show up, it's super, it's one of the hardest things. It's one of the hardest things, right? Because even if we were to apply the four agreements to your mom, right? Like, you're not able to do anything for her per se. The only thing you can do is be impeccable with your words with her, not take anything that she does personally, and do your best with her, whatever that looks like. And it might just be just giving her a call and just being like, hope you're doing okay, I love you, bye. But again, it's easy for me to say from this outside perspective because I'm not in that hurt, I'm not in that pain.
This shit is beautiful. There's nothing more that I love than growing in my entire fucking life.
Mm-hmm.
Another another death in the death in the skull and butterfly cycle of shit.
Yeah. I
I
like
never
how
I thought that was it.
hmm?
I thought that was it. I thought that that was where it's gonna be for the rest of my life, not knowing that there was still room to grow. That is an unfinished cycle
Mm-hmm.
to get to that love part in the thing, you know.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm still right and have gone no contact because it leads to this.
Yeah.
It's part of the journey to that leads to full acceptance because
But
I will eventually have full acceptance of it because I've been on the other side.
mhm. It's kind of like I mean, I don't know football a lot, right? But um, like they have like the players, and then they have the coach, and then they have somebody that oversees all of that, right? That person that oversees everything, they cannot be in it. Because if they're in it, they're not going to be able to see all of the things, all the components that go into it. And that is what you did. You had to zoom out. You had to take some distance away so that you could broaden your perspective, see different aspects that maybe you weren't seeing before. And that allows you to then go be like, oh, there is this thing that I hadn't considered. This can be part of the play, but you who wouldn't have been able to see it had you not gone into that zoom out perspective. I have an uncle. He he married. Um, I don't know exactly what the diagnosis is, but I'm pretty sure she's schizophrenic.
Hmm.
Um, and she has um, delusions of being persecuted.
Hmm.
She thinks that there's like somebody that's always like out to get her and stuff. And all of us, including myself, mental health professional, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing with that person? Like she cray cray, like she crazy. Like why are you with her? And one of the things he says is like, I know that she has that. I've accepted it. And the only thing that I can do is show her that I'm safe for her. In a world that where nobody else accepts that, I embrace that. Right? When she starts like, oh, this car is following us, this and that, and then like his focus is not in convincing her that they're not following her, but it is in you are safe right here with me. And they've been married for I don't know how long. And this is an uncle that has literally been in relationships where like he was an abuser, where he had alcoholism, like he has made a transformation, and he is the only safe person there is for her. But it came with accepting that sometimes she's going to have outbursts, sometimes she's going to accuse him of cheating, and him being okay with that. So it like part of it, right, with I think you with your mom would be like those accusations of you hate me, you want what's worse for me, and saying I'm right here, I am a safe person for you, this has nothing to do with me, and how can I show you that I'm safe.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just in the. I always think of that part of like the same thing, right? Of like you're gonna accept as much pain as you give yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna love as much as you love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Just have to find still that balance.
Yeah.
That's fine. Hmm. Makes sense. I have to thank German. My ego says that because I'm the oldest brother, I know better.
Mm,
But he taught me something. This growth couldn't happen without him.
good, good. Everybody has something to teach us.
Yeah.
What do you need right now?
No, I feel more at peace. I feel more calm. I feel like I wanted to get to this point anyways, but it was the fear of the not full acceptance that needed to do that. Because something that my brother did is got me questioning and opened my eyes to be like, is that a possibility? Is it a possibility to have more and to just accept it and realize that I need it and grow so much past from it, how painful it was. So now they will just take, be like water and take what you can get.
Hmm.
And it's okay. And this is what's showing up and this is the shit. Makes me really happy because I just think I'm on my way. I'm
Yeah.
growing. I'm having more awareness. What greater fucking thing it is for me to be there for someone that has unintentionally like caused so much pain. I'm actually be living what I'm preaching a lot more in that way.
Hmm.
Yeah. Gotta continue to watch Naruto. 'Cause he has an ungiving, unwavering amount of doing good. No matter what the fuck shit happens to him, I'm gonna do good. I'm gonna not give up. I'm gonna continue to push in the right path, and I'm gonna do that stuff. No matter what the fuck happens, and no matter what the challenge is. And again, motherfuckers, this is about yourself.
Hmm. Yes. Yes.
I'll keep that in mind going forward. Try to be more understanding because of that stuff, whatever the reason is. And just, I guess, show more love.
I know. That's so
Plant,
hard. It's
plant
so
more
hard.
seeds.
Huh?
I said, show more love, plant more seeds.
Plant more seeds.
But even then, planting a seed is with expectation that the tree's gonna fucking grow. So who gives a shit if it grows or not? Just fucking give the love,
Yeah, I was because you don't
regardless.
know. Again, you don't know if it's fertile soil or not. You know.
Yeah, regardless
So
of what the outcome is. As long as I know that I'm doing the right thing, then that's all that matters, and that's what'll keep me at peace and be happy with myself that I'm doing the right thing.
yeah, yeah, that's exactly it. Like just just knowing that regardless of like our job as far as like giving you love is continue to plant those seeds, right? Like even us like showing up here and like talking about the like our struggles and having these conversations, like it's coming from a place full of like love, right? So with it, that this is what we're putting out, and within the and we've had some feedback of like people telling us like, holy shit, like you saying that has really helped me, it resonated with me, right? Because they are open and they're fertile to those seeds of love, and there are other people that listen to the same exact episode and would come and bash you because they're not fertile. They
Yeah,
have the seeds of hate, the soil fertile for hate, right? So then that's how they take it.
yeah.
All we
Yeah.
can continue to do is to plant seeds.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy.
Good.
Yeah, nothing ever beats this feeling. And that's why I love pain. I
I'm having such
love
a
the
difficult
pain.
time because you're saying I'm happy, but I see you sitting there just
No, I genuinely am.
like, are
I'm
you
genuinely
really?
happy. Yeah, I'm not denying it. I'm telling you truly. I would have no fucking reason to lie to you or to pretend like I'm not.
Maybe you're
Because it
just
just once again
processing.
it's the what I strive to be. I feel like it's another step what I strive to be of being more kind, more loving, more gentle, more understanding. And I just took another step because of talking to German and talking to you, and because of spending time with myself and realizing that there was some pain that needed to be addressed. Which was why I suggested this kind of episode, you know. You know, there's something there, something will come out of it, or something I need to figure out. But nothing beats the feeling of it.
Hmm.
I even described it with my compadre. I even described it as the feeling that people describe when they do DMT, or that's what it's called, right? When they do hallucinations, when you feel that. I know some people describe it as an endless, like nothing matters. It's just love. Nothing fucking matters. You just feel love, and you feel like overwhelmed by it, and you want to connect, and you want to love, and you want to do that shit. And it happens to me little by little when I have those struggles. And when I get out of the struggle, I feel this immense feeling of love, like nothing fucking matters, and you just want to connect, and you understand, and you're at peace, and you love the whole fucking world and everything in it. And that's how I feel.
Hmm. Good.
Yeah, nice, good stuff, good stuff. But yes, that's why again I can never fucking stop drilling it enough of lean into your fucking pain. You have that awareness to be like, oh, there's something off. There's something I need to talk about. There's something bothering me. Okay, cool. Let's figure out what it is instead of pretending like there isn't.
Yeah. Yeah. You know that because you've had that experience um of tapping into your pain just like you did. Um and knowing that something good will come out of that, right?
Yeah.
Most people don't. Most people would just like, you're asking me to hurt for what? What good is gonna come out of that? And
Mhm.
they haven't experienced this.
Yeah. So that's probably the stupidest flaw as humans that we need to experience it to be able to understand it. No
Yeah.
matter how many people, how many times people tell us something, not until we experience it, then we get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And cool. Unless there's anything else you want to talk about, I'm good already.
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
Yeah.
That was a lot. Oh, this is my other one. My other baby. My other baby.
Mhm. I'm getting a dog, but I'm gonna wait till Aaliyah's 6. So give me a year and a half, and I'll get a dog.
Nice, nice, nice. Hi, mama.
But yep. Alrighty. The email is mindfulpodcastliving@gmail.com. Mindfulpodcastliving@gmail.com. You know what? I've always people have described Norma as a gangster, and I've described her as a gangster and the ability to help us heal. But you know what? I'm a fucking gangster too. I'm growing and I'm appreciative and I shit and I'm shouting at myself for the work that I've done and for the shit that I've done with my client and the people around me. So if you're struggling with something, call me,
Call him. He is
message
a
me,
gangster.
send some shit over this way. I got you. I help you. I
But I feel
understand you.
like we need to come up with a different name for you because, like,
I'm a thug. You're a
if
gangster.
you,
I'm a thug.
but here's the thing, because if you like look at me and you tell people like Norma's a gangster, they'll be like, that doesn't fit almost, you know. Um, because
From
that's not what I portray.
what do you
But
call
if,
baby deers?
huh?
What do you call baby deers?
I don't know. What do you call baby deers?
I don't know.
A Bambi?
What the fuck you call? I don't know. I'm just thinking of the most random shit. A fawn.
You're a fawn?
I don't know. That's the shit that I thought about because I get where I'm going with. Like, I kind of could be a gangster, so it needs to be the opposite.
Right,
But
right, right. So then that's why I'm like, yeah, Steve's a gangster. Steve's a thug. You'll be like, absolutely, yes, I believe you. But if
yeah,
you're like, Norma's a gangster, you'd be like, that bitch cannot be a gangster. Absolutely not. So then we need to.
I find it.
Steve's a. What did you call it? A fawn?
A fawn. That's a baby deer. I don't
Steve,
know,
it's
but
Bambi.
I did. Just go ahead and put a comment below. What should be my fucking uh my nickname for mental health stuff?
Mental health stuff. I'm a gangster, and yeah,
We'll
I'm
think
gonna call
about
you
it.
Bambi now,
Yeah,
because Bambi is vulnerable, and he shakes.
yeah, that
I'm
makes
gonna call
sense.
you Bambi. Steve is a fucking Bambi.
All right, guys, take care of yourselves, and if you're not alone, it's okay to not. It's okay to not be okay.
Mhm.
Peace.
Peace.